Hey there guys, and welcome to a new episode of our coaster. This episode is a little bit special because it's not meant to be a episode where you can give, well, at least you can give feedback, but I won't have, as always, a second episode where you can give feedback and I'm gonna improve it. This time it's a little bit of a side project. I still wanted to go into our coaster as a park because we just weren't here for quite a long time, but yeah, I have to say, I just feel a lot more comfortable with coasters. Obviously, I'm not the best, but I learned so much over the couple of last months together with you guys, obviously, in the Our Coaster series, and just in general also with the coaster in Clean Canyon and all the other coasters, the ones I did for Koali Beach and all these kind of stuff. I just got a little bit better and better and better. As I said, I'm not a pro, but I think I'm quite solid at the moment already, so maybe that's gonna be improving. I definitely don't have the knowledge that others have. I'm improving on my knowledge, of course, but yeah, I'm far away of being a good pro. But anyways, this project is really, I just wanted to do it, and so I thought, okay, I'm just giving it a go. And I have to say, since I already know the outcome, I'm not too sure if I can deliver the video already in this week or next week. I'm even not sure when I'm going to upload this video, maybe or potentially next week, so after the expo, on Monday or Tuesday, somewhat like this, because I'm a little bit low on videos and I saved up a few. But yeah, anyways, so this will be, and you can tell it from the title, it's called Hamburger. I'm not sure if the coaster later on will be called Hamburger, but the idea of this coaster, and because you saw the screenshot most potentially already, so I'm not gonna hide anything away from you, this will be kind of a dual link coaster which is glued to each other. So we have a hanging coaster in a it's definitely B&M, but the two-seater version. I would have loved to do an SLC one, but since we don't have an SLC in the game, I can't do it. And so I was looking for some tracks that work together quite nicely. And I also wanted to go for the two-seater version of the hanging coaster. And then again, later on you can see I am choosing the aerodynamics modern car seated, how's it called? Sit-down coaster, that's the word I was looking for. Basically because it's, I think it fits the elements the best way they can. And I have to say, the coasters in general are kind of smooth, so I am really happy with the outcome of the coasters in the end. That's really surprising, I have to say, because this 0G roll over here is a little bit tricky, but I managed to do it quite nicely in the end. I'm obviously not doing this with the 4-meter method. It's, yeah, basically because I am so short on time at the moment, I just can't do it. So I don't see, you know, I have to just negotiate a little bit between myself that wants to make it the best way possible and myself that wants it to make the quickest way possible. So I try to be somewhere in between. That said, I am pretty happy with the outcome, and so I think the level of smoothness you can achieve with the 4-meter method is not, you know, equivalent to the amount of time I have to put into to achieve this. So I have to put way more time into to make it a little bit more fluid and smooth. Obviously the step is kind of big, you can notice it, but it's not as big as the value on time I have to put into it additionally. So that's basically the core reason why I decided to go with a pretty simple design. It's not too long, but I think it's one of my most compact designs I ever did in Planet Coaster, so I'm also really happy from this kind of point. But at the end of it, I don't really know if it was necessary to go for that kind of a short layout, because it worked way better in the end with the you know, coaster on top of the other coaster than I expected. So it was really cool seeing that it worked. And in the time when I was building this coaster, the update went live where you can, you know, deal with the friction via the toggle in the menu. So you can now have a slider to adjust the friction. I didn't really go into this because when I was finishing this coaster we didn't have the option yet, so I was kind of happy with how the coasters do run together. So obviously the hanging coaster has a little bit more of speed at the beginning, going a little bit more quick into the first element, and then because the loop of the aerodynamics will be a lot more compact and you know, quick and yeah, just a lot more intense, I have to say, because it's a lot smaller, as you can see right here building it. So there the aerodynamics coaster is catching up, and right after this one, going through the loop, they pretty much level up, and from this point they are pretty much really nicely synced. And yeah, just playing around with the friction, I think it just doesn't help, because then they may be better at the beginning, but then they will lose out in the end from their yeah, just level of how they are synced. So yeah, basically that's it. As you can see, I put a break in between here on the aerodynamics one to slow it down a little bit, and that was a really nice idea I had, because I really had to use it later on to slow it down again to match up the speed of the hanging one. But yeah, pretty much that's it about the two coasters in general, and I'll leave you alone a little bit with the music until the end of the video, where I will tune in again to sum up what's going on with the video and how we proceed with that one. here I am again. Hopefully you don't mind that I'm going to destroy your lovely mood listening to the music. Yeah, we are now back into an area where I feel a little bit more comfortable than doing the coasters in general, and this is the scenery around it. Though that said, it's not exactly scenery what I'm doing at the moment, it's custom supporting, because obviously there is no way I can use the in-game supports for a glued together coaster. And I also posted a picture on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should do, because I'm tending to put on photos there, which I don't even post on my Discord. I just somehow get into the mood of posting a photo on Instagram on my Rudi account, and then I'm just using some random photos I have on my phone, and these are usually photos I share with Sylph, Lady, or Advo, or whoever, to you know, just get their ideas in and just exchange a little bit. And so this might be a little bit of nice stuff which hasn't been shown before, so if you want to, just check down, it's down in the description if you want to, it's no must, but just mentioning this because it just came to my mind. But back to the point of custom supporting, I definitely heard this comment as well on Instagram, as I said, that those two coasters, it's kind of a nice idea, somebody said, but those two don't work together because, as I described at the beginning, we do have an aerodynamics, or maybe nowadays vekoma, coaster on top of the ones, those two coasters, and the lower one is a B&M coaster. So it's definitely, in terms of manufacturers, it's not working together at all. That's pretty clear. I could have just easily taken a, for example, stand-up coaster or a, I don't know, whatever, but for the entire look of it and for the entire build, I just wanted to go with the modern standard coaster train, which I really like a lot, and I'm a little bit overdone with the B&M coasters at the moment, so I did so many B&M coasters recently that I just wanted to go with the aerodynamics one. That's, you know, it's purely a decision I made on my own preferences there. It's nothing to do with hard facts to consider. It's just basically about the fact that I thought those two work just together, and I think in terms of elements it works most of the time. Obviously the kind of layout is not really the one for both. I mean, I think the layout pretty much would work out a lot better for the B&M hanging coaster, the two-seater one. And definitely not for the aerodynamics coaster. That will be as a little bit too windy for it. It's a little bit too less straight, so that's basically not how it would look like. But I guess in general, in terms of the movement, in terms of the layout in general, in terms of the forces you have while going through these elements, I think it pretty much works out quite nicely. Also the zero-G roll works pretty nice with an aerodynamics one, because you can have an inline twist like that, which is quite helpful, I would say. But yeah, as you can see, moving now to the end of the video, I'm pretty much working on a little bit of the scenery already, and we are just missing the station. I don't even know if I do an episode on the station. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that kind of different one, and still leave me your feedback, what you think about this build, and hopefully see you in the next episode. Bye bye, guys.